Dear students, there are three topics in your syllabus which deal with writing skills. One is theme writing, another is précis writing, and the last is review writing. Today I'll talk about review writing. In your syllabus, under the heading review writing, you have to specially practice book reviews. So before talking about book reviews, just have a look what a review is. Actually, a review is a critical evaluation of a text, uh, a painting, a film, any cultural event, a musical performance, or any product which we daily use, any home appliance, anything which we buy, which we get, and which we are using, and we just want to give a very closer analysis of that particular thing, that is called review. And when we talk about a formal review or review as a written piece, it includes a brief introduction. For example, we are to write a book review. So the first part is going to deal with the brief introduction about the author of the book, about the theme of the book, and secondly, there will be a brief analysis of the general features of that particular book, that particular activity, that particular product which is under review. Then thirdly, there will be an analytical view of the strengths and weaknesses of that particular text, event or product which we are going to review. Then fourthly, we have to talk about the relevance of that particular object which is under review. We have to talk about its relevance in the present scenario, in the present context. We have to talk about its effectiveness, its usefulness, its application. And lastly, the reviewer has to give his or her own suggestions regarding that very text, event or product which is under review, yeah, which has been reviewed. As far as a book review is concerned, so formally, there is no definitive method, but still some things, some points are needed to be taken care of. They are the first thing is that the subject or the central theme of the book means the book which we are going to review, we must have a close reading of that particular book. Only then we can get the clear picture of the central idea or the subject matter of the book. Secondly, what is the main argument of the book and how the author supports his argument. And the thirdly, how the author structured this very argument, how the organization of subject matter is there in that very book. And the fourthly, the reviewer is supposed to talk about the language and the style of that book. And lastly, there should be some comments, some reviews, some analysis about the relevance of the book as far as the present time is concerned, as far as the storehouse of knowledge is concerned, means whether this book is going to update the pre-existing knowledge on that very subject. Now you have read a particular book, you are ready to write a book review. So how you should frame, how you should work out your book review, or how you should begin to write up a fair write-up or a final write-up for a book review. It should be divided into three parts. The part one deals with introduction. In introduction, you have to mention these very things. First of all, name of the author, nationality, then historical and intellectual context of the author, then title of the book, year of publication, genre. Genre means the literary form. Means, for example, if you are going to review a novel, then genre means you have to write down the fiction. If you are going to review a poetry book, then genre will be poetry. Then you have to write down the page number of the book, and lastly the price of the book. All these points should be considered while beginning with the book review. In the second part, a book reviewer is expected to give the content analysis and critical evaluation of that book and what it includes. And it begins with the brief summary of the theme or the content of the book in 2 paragraphs or 1 paragraph as it is required. Then the next part deals with the critical analysis of the language and style, that about the selection of the words, about the tone of the author, and overall style, whether it is colloquial, whether it is lucid, it is straightforward, it is humorous, or it is satirical. In this way, you have to categorize the style and comment upon it. And then, if you feel like that there are similar books on that very particular subject, you can compare the book which you are going to review with the other books which are available. Then lastly, and the reviewer is expected to discuss about the relevance of the book. In this part 2, while analyzing the contents of the text or while evaluating the style or the language of the book, one thing should be kept in mind, that we are not supposed to use quotations, but in case if you quote, give page reference in parenthesis. The last part deals with the conclusion. Here, the reviewer is expected to give a fair analysis. By fair analysis, I just mean to say that the reviewer should not be biased or prejudiced on the basis of some personal prejudices with the author, or there should be no parochial considerations. By parochial, I mean to say that there should be no bias, no partiality, no prejudices on the basis of reason, religion, or nationality of the author. And lastly, there should be no prejudices on the sexist considerations, means no gender bias should be there. So there should be a just and impartial analysis of the book in terms of its contents as well as its style and language. And lastly, the reviewer is expected to give a brief view, a brief opinion about the relevance of the book in the present context. So here I have a practice exercise for you. Generally, there are questions in your question paper about the to write about the review of a book which you have recently read. And now I have planned a interesting exercise for you, that all of you must have read Jane Austen's novel Pride and Prejudice, and it is better to write a review of that interesting novel. Thirdly, sometimes there are some theoretical questions in your question paper, like what is a book review, or discuss briefly the method of the review writing. I hope this video is going to be of great help for you. Thank you. Enjoy review writing.